Alright, so let's start a new vlog. This is our first July vlog. I keep wanting to say June, but we're not. We're in July. It is Tuesday the 4th of July. And Maisie has taken this exact moment to start scratching on her scratch post. I don't know how much my new phone is going to pick up of background noise. So if you hear that, if you hear random scratching, it's Maisie is on her scratch post. Yeah. New camera, new phone. So if you notice a difference in camera quality and sound quality, video quality, whatever, it's because we're now using a new phone. I'm now using an Oppo Find X5 Lite. Seems okay so far. I've been using it for about a day. Quite happy with it. It's a little bit taller than my previous phone, which was a Huawei. I am really sad to have had to give up the Huawei, but you know, Donald Trump and his sanctions means that Huawei is no longer capable of supporting Android, which basically means we just can't get them here. Yay! So we're now on an Oppo. So we'll see how we get on with it. I am noticing, I think the camera quality is a wee bit better. I'm noticing it's highlighting a lot more of my wrinkle, my random wrinkles, and yeah, especially when I'm closer to the camera, I'm seeing a lot more of my freckles, which, yeah. We're not going to get hung up on that. You're just going to see me as I am. This is a booktube channel, not a beauty channel for a reason, isn't it? Yeah. But anyway, what are we reading? Because we're all here to discuss books, aren't we? So, as of yesterday, I have started 2 new books. So I think at the end of my last vlog, which I filmed that wrap up so many times yesterday. I told you guys I'd finished A Man Called Ove and I'd finished Thank You for Listening, so that gave me, space to start 2 new books. 2 new books! What mad world we live in, don't we? So I have started listening to Becoming a Druid by Mike Molman. I've pretty much gone into this completely blind, but I'm about an hour into it, and so far we have our main character, Grammy. Still making up my mind how I feel about him as a character. I feel like we don't know him well enough yet. From looking at some of the reviews, apparently he's going to come across as quite arrogant, so I'm just sort of like, I'm holding my reservations about him right now. But yeah, right now he's away to be sent on a random dangerous quest, which is like his last test essentially before becoming a druid. I think he's a sort of character where he's annoyed various druidic masters enough that they've kind of all come together and been like, we want to kick him out. Like, we don't want him, we want to kick him out of our order. And his current master is obviously fighting for him. So this is sort of like the compromise, is like we send him on this quest and see how he gets on, I think. That's sort of like the gist of what I've got so far. I don't really fully understand why they want to kick him out beyond he's annoyed them. But I might, hopefully it'll make more sense as we go on. The second book I've started is Seekers, The Winds of Change, which is another fantasy quest. It's a bit more YA, I think. So we're following 2 main characters. We're following Tyrus and Oren. Oren is an absolute sweetheart, and there's a very good chance that by the end of this book he's going to be one of those characters I would die for. If you hurt him, I will hurt you. Tyrus is an idiot. Apparently he's very competent. Right now I just think he's an idiot. That's all. But yeah, they've basically the sovereign, or like basically like the head of their order, they're seekers. I don't really understand quite what a seeker is right now, beyond I'm kind of getting Indiana Jones feels, I'm not gonna lie. But apparently the assassins meet Indiana Jones, because they're not assassins, but they've got all of those skills, right? So yeah, we've basically, the head of their order, there was a failed assassination attempt, so now we need to try and figure out who. The whole point of it right now is figuring out who sent the assassins, why people want him killed. So Oren is tasked with hunting down the assassin, and following those leads, and Tyrus is tasked with going to a neighbouring country which, you know, they have really not good ties with. Sorry, bits of dust going about. And he's teamed up with the daughter of a commander who, in the very first chapter, he robs, and then she kidnaps him, and it gets messy. So he's been tasked with finding the conduit. I don't know. The Master of the Order just, he seems a wee bit sus. You know, it's like, you two go do these things. I'm not going to give you too much information. It's just a bit... So yeah, I think there's more intrigue going on there. But I'm having a fun time. I'm about a third of the way through it. It's not going to be a 5-star, but I'm still having a fun time reading it. I'm reading both of these books for the Keymark Discord readathon. They're both Spithbone 9 books, which is self-published fantasy blog off, and I'm guessing it's the 9th one. I don't know. So they're both indie pubs, self-published. I was actually gifted both of these from the authors. I won them both in giveaways that was sort of like held in the Keymark Discord, so it just feels appropriate to be reading them for this readathon. Yeah, I'm in buddy reads on the Discord for both of them, so it's been nice, like, throughout the last 24 hours so far, just like occasionally typing in my thoughts and seeing what everyone else's thoughts are as I get to those points. But yeah, but that's us. That is the start of July. I'm off today, so I'm going to continue reading a bit more, maybe do some housework. And yeah, just kind of chill, take it easy. I need to do some batch cooking, because I have this... I've been eating so badly lately that it's like, right, no, I'm putting my foot down. I let myself eat badly up until the weekend, and as of today, we're back on track. Ignore my biscuits, you know. You can't sit and read with a cup of tea and not have a bit of shortbread, okay? Okay, you know, girl has limits. But in terms of like my tea and everything and lunches at work, I want to just like get back to properly eating properly instead of just eating junk all the time. So yeah, I'm gonna get the kitchen sorted out, get my dishes up to date because they're falling a bit. I just didn't do any yesterday, okay? Don't judge me, I'll judge you back. And yeah, do some batch prep cooking. So I think I want to try and make saffron rice. I've definitely got all the ingredients, and I get mentioned a couple of times in A Man Called Ove, so I'm now like, I want to try making saffron rice. And yeah, I got to figure out a couple of things to go with that. So I've got some corn pieces, and I've got the Linda McCartney fake mince in the freezer. So I think, I apologise if you can hear the cat. She's... Naturally, I'm filming, so she's like, right, we gotta do some scratching, we gotta do some eating, now we gotta use the litter tray. Great timing, Maisie, great timing. But yeah, I'm thinking of cooking the corn pieces with salsa. I used to cook chicken with salsa, but obviously I don't eat chicken anymore. So I reckon corn pieces should work. I'd do that with salsa, put some peppers through it, maybe a bit of chili or something. That could work quite nicely and could have that with the rice. And then I think I'm going to use the mince to make... I'd probably just make a bolognese or something, or a chili. I could make a bolognese and a... 3 big meals in one day? Making, not eating, obviously. Might be my limit, but we'll see. And then, if I give myself time, might make like some chocolate Krispies or some homemade shortbread or something. Just to stop me snacking and to stop me going to the shop every day. I literally went to Tesco's or the Spar, not the Spar, the Scott Mids every day last week, which was shocking and not on. So yeah, anyway, that's my plans for today. This clip is almost 10 minutes long, so we're just going to wrap it up there. I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to go back to my book, maybe put the audiobook on whilst I'm in the kitchen. And yeah, I'll check in a bit. See you. I don't know what that was. Hey, so I thought I'd have a wee check-in. It's currently Wednesday the 5th of July. given myself a day off work, an extra day off work, because I was throwing my guts up last night. Food poisoning is not fun. Yeah, no. It was either food poisoning or some form of like stomach bug. My stomach's still a bit squiffy, but I'm not in danger of throwing up anymore. So I've kind of just given myself today to be like, okay, let's just, not overtax it. So that does mean I've been doing a bit more reading. Because what else am I going to do when what else do you do when you're not feeling well, right? So I keep looking down here. It's because my laptop's down here, which is what I'm currently reading on. But yeah, I haven't listened any further to becoming a druid. But probably when I make something for my tea later on, I will. But I'm a little over halfway through Seekers, The Winds of Change. Yeah, I've got feelings. So I'm doing this as a buddy read, as part of a buddy read in the Keymark Discord, and it's going to cover one of the prompts in there. I haven't decided which one yet. So I am going to finish this. At most, I'm probably going to give it 3 stars, guys. I feel really bad. I guess this is one of the pitfalls of getting free copies for review. The authors give them out. Here's a free copy, please give me an honest review. I'm going to give an honest review. It's not going to be a stellar review. I'm going to say this is a lot of potential. It's basically a classic quest coming of age fantasy. So we have a group of seekers who they're really hard. They're like very well trained, and their role is to basically go about finding hidden artifacts or forgotten artifacts from the Argon realm, I think. And they're currently trying to uncover a plot to kill their sovereign, or the leader of their organization, essentially. So we've got 2 protagonists who've split off, both doing sort of like different missions but connected. The world building, I think, is interesting. We're seeing a lot of different politics happening. Like, there's definite themes of racism throughout it. I'm really enjoying some of the characters. Some of them I just think are an idiot. Tyrus is just an idiot. There's 2 things about this book that I wouldn't go so far as to say I'm struggling to the point where I need to DNF, but I'm kind of struggling with them. The first is, and this is something that will only improve over time, so I absolutely do not count this as a negative, like, don't read the book because of this. And that is, the dialogue feels a bit clunky at times. I feel like we're getting exposition through dialogue, and sometimes it's working and sometimes it's kind of not, because sometimes you're telling me things, like a character is telling another character something, and I'd be like, I feel like y'all should know this, so why not just like half the content of this dialogue and then just give me a little paragraph explaining. It's a little bits like that. Just I would say at times the dialogue does feel clunky. It doesn't. Sometimes it just doesn't feel that natural. But like I say, I'm a little over halfway through it. It is a relatively short book. I could not tell you how many pages it is. The app I'm reading on, which is Readium, because I'm on a Chromebook, I just cannot for the life of me figure out how to get Kindle to work on it if it works on it. So I'm using an app called Readium, Readium, and it's an EPUB. So I've got like a table of contents where like I can skip back and forth between chapters. I can tell you that I'm currently on chapter 16, I think. Yeah, I'm on chapter 16, but I could not tell you what page I'm on. But I think according to Goodreads and Amazon, it's a little over 300 pages, so, excuse me. Yeah, the other thing that's really getting to me, and this is where, like, this is a YA, and this is where the YA is really starting to hit home, because it's a little insta-lovey, and, like, I get it, you guys have sort of like been travelling and getting to know each other for a couple of months, but oh, I don't know, I'm almost getting Romeo and Juliet-esque vibes where it's like seriously? That just, no, guys, just no. So, they're smitten with each other, and they're both of them currently, battling with it. Oh, do I just give up my life and follow the other? Do I give everything up and follow my heart and my happiness? Or do I stay loyal to my country and my organization and blah, 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 blah? There. So they're both at the point where they're contemplating giving up their lives for each other. Figuratively, not literally. But it's too soon for sex. We've literally just had a conversation where, they're kissing and all that jazz, and they're, and he's like, well, we're alone, it's a dark room, and she's like, oh no, no, we should take this slow. I'm like, hold on a minute. If I'd had that before, if I'd had this maybe even like a chapter ago, then I'd be totally fine. Like, yes, girl, good on you. But you're literally thinking of moving across country, giving up everything you know to be with this guy, but it's a bit too soon to get hot and sweaty together. It just doesn't. It just feels like we've got two opposing thought processes and conversations going on, and it's just, yeah. So, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be grateful when I finish this book. I don't quite think it's gonna put me in a reading slump, but it's definitely I'm gonna be a lot more careful about what book I choose to read next. But yeah. On that note, the joys of being homesick is you hear when Mill turns up. Yay! So this is the packaging that comes with Mr. B's big subscription. I don't think I've shown you my address. We'll figure that out when I'm editing. Should we just open it and see? I actually can't remember I can't even remember which. I get the spoiler email every month, so I always know which author I'm getting, but never the book. It's a relatively chunky one, I think. Oh, that's okay. It's now like a sealed envelope. It used to be that there was like a thingamabob here. There was like a little tie that would kind of come around and tie it down. So we're changing things up a bit. It is quite a chunky book. I think this is going to be it's the last book of this subscription. July. Yeah, I'm fairly certain this is my last book for the subscription. So I need to decide whether I'm going to be continuing. I mean, Henry is on a redemption arc, so, But let's see. So as well as that packaging, it then gets sort of like a little slip. It's not fully wrapped, but you do get a little slip. Okay. Sci-fi. Velocity Weapon by Megan E. O'Keefe. I've never heard of this. The last thing Sandra remembers is her gunship exploding. She expected to be recovered by salvage medics and to be waken in friendly hands, patched up and ready to rejoin the fight. Instead, she wakes up 230 years later on a deserted enemy starship called the Light of Berossus. Or as he prefers to call himself, Beto. Beto tells Sandra the war is lost. The entire star system is dead. But is that the full story? After all, in the vastness of space, anything is possible. It could be interesting. I don't know if I'm going to start this anytime soon. I'm not massively feeling sci-fi right now, I don't think. But yeah, anyway, this is my latest Mr. Beast book. So I'm going to get back to reading. I'm feeling sorry for myself, and I'll chat to you guys in a bit. Hey folks, so I thought I'd give a quick update. Macy and I have finished Seekers, The Winds of Change. I am amazed she's just accepting all of the cuddles. Nah, she's away off. That makes more sense. She really doesn't like being in front of the camera. That's why you don't see her that often. But yeah, we finished Seekers, The Winds of Change. I've given it 3.5 stars. It's got a lot of potential. I think that's the best thing about it. It definitely has a lot of potential. By the end, I liked one half.
for the most part, it's a two POV book. So I was really enjoying the bits. Sorry, I don't know where to look on this new phone. So if I'm looking in a really weird direction, I'm still trying to figure out where the camera is. I think it's that little green dot there. um, but yeah, I liked one half of the POV, like one character perspective, a lot more than I did the other. Um, Basically, I really enjoy Oren as a character. I really enjoyed his character arc, seeing him gain so much confidence and really step into sort of like a leadership role. Um, Tyrus, no, Tyrus. What can I say about Tyrus? Tyrus is an idiot who makes really bad decisions, and yeah, I don't want to say too much spoilery. I don't want to. I don't want spoilers, so we're gonna try and not put too much into that. Yeah. Overall, like the dialogue at times was kind of clunky and awkward, which did take me out of it quite a lot, but it did improve towards the end. And realistically, Troy Litton can't only improve as an author. Um, I think there's a lot of potential. I think he said himself that he's kind of written this so that it can stand as it can work as a standalone, but he set it up really nicely that, you know, I expect to see more in this world. But yeah. Yeah, that's it. I have nothing else to say about it. I'm glad I've persevered. I'm glad I didn't DNF it. I was tempted at one point. Um but yeah, I'm guys, it's a 3.5 star book, you know, I'm not gonna be raving about it. But yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go get ready for bed and I will speak to you guys later.
I thought I'd give a wee update because I have not updated in a few days. I've not updated in about a week, which, let's face it, is pretty much par for the course for me right now, isn't it? What have I done since our last update? Well, the weekend came and went. I didn't do too much reading at the weekend. Saturday was, oh my god, Saturday was so warm, like you could barely concentrate. I think I sat in the garden for like maybe an hour and it just, no, couldn't do it. I was also really nervous because Saturday did my very first live show, which was a big success. I think I say big success, like, you know, it was a success. But yeah, I was really nervous, and so I could barely concentrate on between that and the heat. Just did not concentrate on anything. Barely read anything. I don't think I read actually. Yeah, no, I read nothing on Saturday. But yeah, the live show I will link down below somewhere. I was on Ashley over at Ashley's Media Addiction. I was on her channel talking about the June book for the Recreate book club. And that was a man called Uva. So yeah, that was it was a really interesting conversation. It was a really good conversation. Ashley and I both came at the book from very different angles with very different experience. So we had very different reading experience. So yeah, it was good to talk about a book where we didn't agree with everything, but we were both making very valid points, I think. And yeah, it was, I don't know, like I'm really curious and interested in live streaming. I always have this sort of like idea that I might, for like sit down videos, live stream them rather than film and upload. Just to see how we got on with that. Yeah, what else? Sunday, I think just because it's been so warm and humid, like the day before, like I was doing my best to keep drinking and make sure I didn't dehydrate, but I think just like the pressure and everything and excuse me, being nervous and everything just meant that on Sunday I woke up with such an incredible headache that I didn't read anything. I think I read a little bit of fanfic, and that was kind of it. I sat in. There's a YouTube channel. It's called The Girl with the Dogs. Yeah, I pretty much just sat and watched her all day. It's a dog grooming channel. She literally just grooms cats and dogs, and that was my entire Sunday. Yeah. But Monday came along and I was like, yeah, I was feeling a bit better. Work is super busy as always, but I did manage to do a little bit of reading. So I've started With This Kiss by Carrie Hope Fletcher. With This Kiss. It's technically it's fantasy. I am reading this for the Keymark Discord readathon. But this feels like a cheap book because it's a rom-com where it's basically our protagonist, every time she kisses someone, she sees how they die. And that is obviously a big major theme throughout it, but that's the only thing fantasy about it. Everything else about this is standard rom-com. But I don't know, it means it's nice. It means that like I'm still reading for the readathon, but I'm not letting myself get fantasied out. Yeah, it's not blowing me out of the water, but I am enjoying it. So yeah, I've been chipping away reading a little bit each night, and I'm now a little over halfway. And it has pretty sprayed edges, which I don't know if it really comes across, but they're slightly off center. And now every time I look at the edges, that's what I see. But yeah, I think it's going to be sort of like a 3.5, maybe like 4-star book. It's not blowing me out the water. It's not going to be a favourite book of the year, but it's just a really cute little read. So I am enjoying that. I've also been listening to more of... What is the book I am listening to? What is it called? Becoming a Druid. Mike Mullen, Becoming a Druid. I've been listening to more of that, and you know what, guys? I'm enjoying it so much more than I thought I was going to. I think after Seekers, I was a bit like, you know, it's a self-published book that I got for free from the author. He was giving it away. Like, they did a certain amount as part of a giveaway. I was like, I don't know. But I am really, really enjoying it. It's kind of a standard quest fantasy. We've got our main character who's having to go find the object to hopefully beat the bad guy. An obsidian mage is, I think, our bad guy. But our main character is... the author himself describes him as a bit of a knucklehead. You find yourself just like shaking your head, like, honestly, Grammy, like, why would you, like, oh my god. He's a little bit of an idiot. He has no sense of self-awareness. There was at one point, it's first person narrative, and he's like, I'm not usually this quick to trust people, but blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, our main character is the only one who believes he is not quick to trust, because he is the most trusting, gullible, naive idiot you're gonna come across. I frequently, because I'm listening to it and I'm about 5-6 hours into it now, and I'm frequently finding myself talking back to him, which I think has to be the sign of a good sign of a well-written character. If I'm talking back to him, he's definitely a flawed character, but he feels real enough that I'm berating him. I'm frequently berating him. But yeah, it's really, really good. There's a really great sort of like uncle nephew dynamic going on. That's just, yeah, it's ticking all my boxes. The author is in the Keymark Discord. So as I'm like messaging away in the buddy read for it, every so often he's replying to folk. And there was one scene with a dog that I was crying. So I typed in there, and then he replies being like, yeah, I wrote that scene because my dog died. And I was like, and I'm crying again. But yeah, it's been nice sort of like having that bit of interaction and getting a little more insights. It's also particularly interesting, this book, it feels a lot like a D&D campaign. Like at any moment, the narrator is going to turn around and be like, now roll for initiative, which, you know, we all dread and love. But apparently he's never, like, Meg Mullen, the author, has actually never played D&D, which I'm like, why? Why is this man? Because it feels like straight up, like, a limited player D&D campaign with the druid as your main player. It's absolutely brilliant. So yeah, I mean, obviously, like, I've not finished it. I can't say for certain, but for the most part, I'm like, yeah, I'm here for this book. It's been such a pleasant surprise that I'm enjoying it as much as I am. Um, but yeah, I think that's all my updates. Uh, yeah, yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, so I will probably next speak to you. I'll probably have at least one more update before I put this vlog out, so it shouldn't be too long a vlog. Although I have just rambled on for like 8, 9, 10 minutes. We'll see. But yeah, anyway, see you in a bit.
Hey, so it's time to wrap up the vlog, isn't it? I should have kind of I should have done this like 2 days ago, but I was like, I am not wrapping up this vlog until I have finished another book. So last night I stayed up and I think I was up to like midnight-ish. Which I've usually finished reading by about 11ish. So not too much later, but late enough. I finished With This Kiss. Guys, it was fine. It was okay. It was, I don't know. I feel like it started off strong and then it kind of lost after a while. So yeah, pacing was a bit iffy. Just characters made some decisions or just kind of really started accepting things just a bit too easily. Everything was resolved just a bit too quickly. It was a bit like, oh, what do we do? Oh, bad. Well, it's all fine now. It's like, oh, of course. Like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like we could have. I wrote up a quick review for it, so that I could submit it for one of the Keymark readathon books. But basically, I don't often say, "Oh, I wish this book had more pages," but this book needed more pages. I think if Carrie Hope Fletcher had given herself even like an extra 50 pages, she could have fleshed a few scenes out a bit more, really made sense of the characters and the decisions they were making, and how they were reacting, and it just would have worked a bit more. It would have worked a bit better. I know it's not her first book, but it feels like a debut novel. It reads like a debut. So it reads like she had a lot of potential, and I'm really hoping that as she writes more, it does get better. It's not completely put me off reading anything by her, but I'm not going to rush out and read anything else. Like, I will definitely read something else she's written, but I'm not scrambling to be like, oh my god, I've got to get hold of everything she's ever written. So yeah, it was alright. So yeah, we're basically going to take this vlog to an end and immediately start filming the intro to the next one. Bit of a lackluster one this time, I guess, but you can't, not every fortnight, not every book can be amazing. And you have to have some books that are less than stellar, that are still alright books. And you know what? They just make the truly fabulous books. These ones here. You know what I'm talking about. They just make them really stand out, don't they? They make you appreciate them a bit more. So yeah. Like if you liked, subscribe if you want, I guess. Nah, no pressure. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next vlog. Bye bye.